So all good to go? Okay, so the adjournment of the vote will be back to our meeting, and we're still discussing the adoption of the proposed plan. So people have had possibly some time to read it, but maybe not enough for everybody. However, a couple of developments have arisen in the morning, which I believe make it essential that we adjourn for longer. So I'm going to sort of try and get a sense from the meeting whether it would be better to, or from your point of view, to adjourn until Thursday afternoon or until Friday. So Astra, I know this is not according to standing orders, but we will have time to debate in a minute. If we opt for either of those courses, who would prefer Thursday afternoon, please? Could you put your hand up?
And what was the option on Thursday afternoon? Friday, oh gosh.
I do Thursday tomorrow.
So Thursday, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That must be a majority under all circumstances.
Martin's also Thursday.
He's back in time for Thursday meeting
At 12 p.m. as well.
Okay. So I will therefore that we adjourn until Thursday afternoon, and I'll invite the Chief Executive to nominate a suitable time. And but it has to be such that at least 2 of us here can attend the Maori Standing Committee, which is coming later in the day. So do I have a seconder for that?
Can we confirm the time now, please? So I understand that some of the other members of governance that they can do 12 p.m. and 12 p.m. is what was bandied about. Are we able to talk to 12 p.m.?
It really depends on how much information you want us to provide before 12 p.m. So ideally, because we want to get your feedback, because I know you've had a lot of discussion around some of the content of the document and how it's presented. So we need time to take that on board and incorporate. Our preference would be later in the day, around 3:30.
It's not giving us very much time for the Māori Standing Committee convening at 4:30. Like that just doesn't really give us.
Okay.
So that's why 12.
2:30 or 3.
What are people's preferences?
Can I just make a comment? And I think it's really important. Well, Maori Standing Committee is also very important. This is a very important piece of our overall picture on where we move forward and annual plan and what we've sent out to our members of our public. I want to make sure that everybody is comfortable with having the opportunity to read through the document. Any feedback is taken on board by the authors of the document at the end of the day, so that we can actually they can present to us something, for instance, that we're likely to endorse. At the moment, I'm not particularly comfortable about having the debate about some of the areas that I feel there are gaps, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people in this room who feel the same way. So unless we all get the chance to feed that back and that officers take that on board, and that we end up with a document that's presented to us at a time tomorrow afternoon that's been thoroughly viewed, thoroughly wordsmithed, and thoroughly ready for us to basically endorse so that it can go to the public. So I think the later we leave it tomorrow afternoon will be more beneficial to us all in the long term.
I can't do later on. And I know Madam Nightbots also is.
So, Councillor Maynard, Councillor Ross, can you sort of propose a suitable compromise?
Well, I'm completely flexible. I'm always flexible. So I just
can I just, could we perhaps get a steer from Harry and Amanda? How much? Well, first and foremost, are we going to provide some feedback to the staff as a council? So are we going to adjourn this council meeting, perhaps have an hour of a workshop just so we can give us our initial feedback? Might be a way to go, because we don't want to perhaps provide that feedback in a formal council meeting. It's more of a we've had that opportunity to adjourn this meeting, go into a workshop state, so we can provide that to you, Amanda, and your team, then come back potentially if it suits 12 o'clock tomorrow, so that then enables us to have 2 or 3 hours before the Murray Standing Committee. I agree with you, Colin. I think this takes priority over Murray Standing Committee. I'm sorry, but council meetings trump committee meetings, no matter what they are. And there is no more important document than this one right now.
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying through your worship, but I agree. But the reality is that we were being advised that we had to get this done today. So surely being able to do it 24 hours later at 12, I can't see what the issue is if we're going to do it, why that would be an issue now to be able to actually get that information by giving 2 extra hours.
So
So to be able to bring this back for us when we were being asked to actually say yes to put this through today. So
that's not going to happen. So how do we proceed?
So that's why I think I'm going through till 12. But I think that your idea of perhaps just having like having a bit of a convo first and being able to do it. But I just want.
We would certainly appreciate that. Obviously,
Yeah.
we have version control. So we don't want a stream of emails coming in at different times, which could be contradictory. So it would really help us to have an hour of your time. Just to sit down and say what are the major things that are you want us to make sure we incorporate the document. That means we can get on shape it, and we could meet the floor.
And then we could do the 12 p.m.
Yeah, good.
Yes, thank you, Councillor.
Through you, Chair. I'm just going to be tomorrow morning. I'm heading to the South Island, so and I can't get out of that. And I'll be back in the Wairarapa on Saturday morning. So, I mean, if we can try, looking at my timings, I'll be able to get to perhaps and log on online after probably 2 o'clock. If I could find a place on the road so I can attend online. Otherwise,
If we get the vast majority of the changes through in a workshop today, would you be comfortable with proceeding? If you can't.
Yep.
Can I, sorry, Your Worship, because it's really important. Probably the 3 key people who have been involved in sort of setting the theme for this process have been the 3 that we all endorsed as councillors, for instance, to oversee the formation of the document at the end of the day. And Aidan's played a huge part in that, and he's drilled down in detail, line by line, and come up with some very good suggestions. And I would really value, I have to say, his presence at that meeting, to be quite honest. I really would, whether it's either Zoom or in person. But so to me, that's an important element here.
Councillor Maynard, I feel that 2 o'clock is a nice compromise. What do you think?
I'll go with 2 o'clock if that's what the majority feel that they can make.
I think we don't have any problems with no. Okay, so I think we have a motion, do we not?
Mhm.
And I think we have agreement on the time. Does anybody else wish to say anything? Did we ever get a seconder?
No, I think just got you in Samantha.
Right, okay.
I'm happy to second to adjourn to 2 o'clock till tomorrow.
Okay.
Could we also have another motion that we then close this meeting and move into a workshop? Yeah, right.
Yes, I'd like to second that.
We'll do one at a time.
Right.
So we'll start with the adjournment of this meeting until tomorrow at 2. All in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, that's carried. Now we have a separate motion that when we do adjourn, that we commence the workshop. We have a seconder, Councillor Corley. Any comments from anybody? Yes, please.
Just noting we've got members of the public present and you might want to make a decision about whether or not that workshop is open to the public or not.
No.
Well, that's, would you like to give us some advice? That's your decision. Well, I think it's also covered by some legal requirements.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to, you would have resolved when they had the workshop.
Yeah,
if you wanted to.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Is any, so we'll
Can I,
Yes, please.
one of the things we want to stimulate is free and frank conversations about the body of the document, its contents, etc. And unfortunately, it's very restrictive when there are public present in terms of the line of conversation. So I would suggest, or I'd like to move that we actually move to public excluded for that workshop.
Okay, well, let's start with the first motion, which was councillor Plymouth.
I'm happy to amend it to meet Colin's next.
Be amended, to be excluded. Anybody have further comments on that? Okay, I'll put the motion there. Would you like to read it again, Amy?
When the meeting adjourns, we enter into a public excluded workshop to discuss the document.
Okay. Did everyone hear that? Good. Okay. All in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Right.
Your worship, can I just propose a motion to defer the public excluded segment of this particular meeting to a future date? Is that, Harry, I need to do that, I think. So the public excluded section that looked at the corporate structure, I'd like to see that move to a later date, a meeting at a later date.
The next council.
Next council meeting, yeah.
Well, since it was your paper and your recommendation,
Yep.
you're most welcome to do that. There is another public excluded matter which should take a brief moment, though. And indeed,
We need a,
I just talk to that one of yours, Colin. Maybe we to start the ball rolling in that paper, which was a long overdue conversation. Perhaps we throw it into infrastructure as the next possible start the ball rolling.
yeah, there are some reasons that I want to present it to council and receive some feedback in the initial onset, because a lot of work to do, obviously, beyond that, if there is support. So, so my preference is that everybody. Yeah. Do we need? So we've got. Can I move that? Or do we need a second?
we don't need any.
Oh, okay. No, that's great. Thank you.
Your paper, you can withdraw it at your will.
Thank you, sir.
And you have done so.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, so we do come now to the public excluded item.
And that's what Steve's moved.
Sorry,
I think if you do.
That's what he just-
That entire section until the next.
I'm only going to refer the bit that Colin Olds does not wish to talk about.
But we've just passed the resolution to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah, adjourn the meeting.
We've adjourned the meeting till tomorrow.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I
right.
know that.
We can do that. Yeah, that's
I
fine.
don't think
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
anything pressing.
no, that's true. Okay, so the meeting is adjourned and we'll take 5 minutes.
Break the lunch.
Break the lunch. Apparently there is lunch.
Working lunch because some of.
Yeah, yeah. If we
Grab-
could do
grab
it.
some, sit down,
that would
carry on.
be-
Okay, so does anybody need some lunch from next door?
No, it's here. It's here. Here.
Oh, it's here. We don't have it. Thanks.
Sam.
Let's stay.
There we go.